There was probably a time when your heart felt strong without you even noticing it, when climbing stairs didn't leave you breathless, when walking long distances felt effortless, when your chest felt light, steady, and reliable. But as the years go by, many people begin to feel changes they can't quite explain. A little heaviness here, a little shortness of breath there, maybe fatigue that shows up earlier in the day than it used to. Most assume it's just age, just getting older, just the new normal. But what if I told you something different? What if the real issue isn't age at all, but what's happening inside your arteries? Inside your body are 60,000 miles of blood vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries carrying oxygen rich blood to every organ. Your arteries are the highways of life. When they're clear and flexible, your heart barely has to work. Blood moves smoothly, energy flows. Every cell receives the oxygen it needs to function. But when plaque slowly builds up inside those arteries, it's like traffic forming inside a tunnel. Blood flow slows, pressure rises, your heart strains. You feel it through fatigue, sluggishness, chest tightness, cold hands and feet, poor stamina, and even brain fog. Scientists now know that what we call aging is often just reduced circulation. Here's the hopeful part: your body is not stuck this way. Your arteries can be cleaned, your blood flow can be restored, and your heart can become stronger naturally. Recent cardiovascular research shows something remarkable. Your arteries can repair themselves when given the right nutrients. Your blood vessels have a lining called the endothelium, a thin layer responsible for keeping arteries flexible and preventing blockages. But years of stress, unhealthy food, lack of sleep, and inflammation weaken this layer. That's when trouble begins. LDL particles slip inside the vessel wall, inflammation triggers plaque buildup, and arteries stiffen. But here's what scientists discovered: certain everyday foods can reverse endothelial damage, reduce plaque, and improve circulation without medication, without surgery, without complicated routines. Not magic, not hype, biology. Think back to times when your heart worked effortlessly, when your pulse stayed calm even under stress, when you could move without feeling your chest tighten. That strength came from arteries that were clean, flexible, and full of life. So, in this series, we'll explore those foods, how they work, and why modern studies now show it's possible to clean your arteries naturally, strengthen your heart, and regain the cardiovascular power you once had. Your heart hasn't given up on you. It's waiting for you to give it what it needs. To understand how to clear your arteries, you first need to understand how they get blocked in the first place. Most people imagine plaque as hardened fat that sticks to artery walls like glue, but the truth is far more complex and far more interesting. Inside every artery is a thin, delicate lining called the endothelium. Think of it as the skin inside your blood vessels. When this lining is healthy, it expands, contracts, and signals your arteries to stay flexible. It prevents clots. It reduces inflammation. It keeps blood flowing smoothly. But when the endothelium becomes damaged from stress, poor sleep, high blood sugar, processed food, or toxins, it loses its ability to protect your arteries. Tiny cracks form. These cracks are invisible to the naked eye, but your body sees them as an emergency, so it sends cholesterol, especially LDL particles, to patch the cracks. At first, this seems helpful, like sending workers to repair a damaged road. But over time, inflammation enters those damaged spots. White blood cells rush in. They try to clean the LDL, but instead they cause swelling. More LDL gets trapped. Calcium begins to accumulate. And slowly, silently, what was once a smooth, flexible artery becomes a narrow, stiff, inflamed tunnel, struggling to let blood through. This process takes years, even decades. And here's the frightening part: you don't feel it happening. There are no early warning signs, no pain, no obvious symptoms, until one day you notice you're getting tired faster. Your legs feel heavier. Your heart feels like it's working harder to do the same things. Your stamina drops. Your breath shortens. Your brain feels foggy. These are not old age. These are signs of reduced circulation, the earliest hints that your arteries are struggling. But here's where the story changes. For decades, scientists believed arterial plaque was permanent, that once it hardened, it could never be reversed. But newer research shows the opposite. Plaque is dynamic, constantly forming and breaking down. And when you introduce the right nutrients, antioxidants, and anti inflammatory compounds, your arteries begin to clean themselves. Your body already has a built in repair system called endothelial regeneration. It can rebuild the lining of your arteries from the inside out, but it needs specific raw materials to activate this process. What are those materials? They fall into three major categories. 1. Foods that increase nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is your body's natural artery relaxer. It helps open blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and boosts circulation. When nitric oxide is high, blood flows like a smooth river. When it's low, arteries stiffen and narrow. 2. Foods that remove inflammation. Inflammation is the true enemy of your arteries. It's inflammation, not fat alone, that turns LDL into dangerous plaque. When you lower inflammation, your arteries can begin to heal. 3. Foods that dissolve and stabilize plaque. Certain nutrients help soften existing plaque, prevent it from rupturing, and support your body in breaking it down over time. You already know the bad news. Plaque builds slowly and silently. But here's the good news: repair also happens slowly and silently, and you can accelerate it through daily food choices. Every meal you eat is either feeding inflammation or feeding repair. There is no neutral. Imagine this: every leafy green you eat boosts nitric oxide. Every high antioxidant fruit reduces inflammation. Every omega 3 source stabilizes plaque. Every polyphenol rich food supports arterial cleanup. Food is not just fuel, food is instructions, commands, delivered directly to your cells. In the next part, we'll explore the exact foods proven by research to clean arteries, boost blood flow, and restore the flexibility your heart depends on. Now that you understand how plaque forms and how your arteries can rebuild themselves, let's talk about the foods that trigger this healing process. Not supplements, not medications. Foods you can eat every single day to restore circulation, dissolve inflammation, and help your arteries regain the flexibility they once had. Scientists have now identified a group of nutrients called vasoprotective foods, foods that literally protect and repair blood vessels. And the first category is one of the most powerful. 1. Foods that boost nitric oxide, your natural artery relaxing molecule. If you imagine your arteries as tunnels, nitric oxide is the signal that tells those tunnels to open wider. When nitric oxide is high, your arteries expand, blood pressure drops, circulation improves, and your heart doesn't have to fight to push blood through. When nitric oxide is low, your arteries tighten and harden, and plaque forms faster. Two foods stand out above the rest. Beets. Beets are loaded with nitrates that convert into nitric oxide once they enter your bloodstream. In multiple studies, beet juice has been shown to open arteries within hours, lower blood pressure, naturally increase blood flow to the heart and brain, improve exercise endurance, reduce arterial stiffness by 15 to 20%. Drinking beet juice or adding cooked beets to a salad sends an immediate wave of nitric oxide through your arteries, almost like flipping a switch that tells them to relax. Leafy greens, spinach, arugula, romaine, kale. These are nitrate machines. In fact, arugula contains the highest nitric oxide boosting power of any common food. When you eat a salad rich in leafy greens, you're feeding your arteries exactly what they need to stay flexible. Think of nitric oxide as WD-40 for your blood vessels. It keeps everything smooth, open, and flowing. 2. Foods that lower arterial inflammation, the real cause of plaque. If nitric oxide opens the arteries, then anti inflammatory foods repair the arterial lining. Because remember, plaque forms only when inflammation damages the endothelium. Lower the inflammation, and you stop plaque from forming. The most powerful inflammation fighting foods include berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. All of them are loaded with anthocyanins that reduce CRP, inflammation marker, repair endothelial cells, improve blood pressure, reduce LDL oxidation, the dangerous kind, help soften plaques. One Harvard study even found that people who ate berries 3 times a week had a 34% lower risk of heart attack. Tomatoes. Tomatoes, especially cooked ones, contain lycopene, a potent carotenoid that reduces arterial inflammation. In clinical studies, lycopene improved arterial elasticity and cut the risk of plaque buildup in half. A simple bowl of tomato soup or homemade pasta sauce delivers a powerful healing effect. Extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil contains polyphenols that protect artery walls from inflammation. In Mediterranean heart studies, those who consumed the most olive oil had the lowest rates of coronary artery disease, even when eating more calories. Olive oil doesn't just reduce inflammation, it stabilizes plaques, making them less likely to rupture. 3. Omega 3 foods that stop plaque from hardening inflammation creates plaque. Omega 3s calm that inflammation down. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel. Rich in EPA and DHA, they lower triglycerides, reduce arterial inflammation, prevent plaque from calcifying, improve blood vessel elasticity, reduce arrhythmia risk. Studies show omega 3s decrease heart attack risk by up to 30%. Walnuts and chia seeds, plant based sources of omega 3s. They reduce inflammatory markers and improve endothelial function, perfect for people who don't eat fish. 4. Foods that help dissolve and pull plaque from arteries. This is where things get exciting. Some foods contain compounds called artery clearing polyphenols, which help soften existing plaque and assist your body in breaking it down. Pomegranate is one of the few foods shown to reduce existing arterial plaque, lower blood pressure, increase nitric oxide by 50%, reverse oxidative damage. In a 3-year study, people who drank pomegranate extract reduced plaque by 30%, while the control group saw plaque increase by 9%. That's not maintenance, that's reversal. Citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, grapefruit, especially their peel, contain flavonoids that improve blood flow and prevent LDL oxidation. They keep blood thin, smooth, and flowing without clotting. Every one of these foods sends a message straight to your arteries: heal, repair, open, clean, protect. We've talked about plaque. We've talked about inflammation. We've talked about nitric oxide. But there is one more force silently harming your arteries every single day. Something most people don't even realize is happening inside their bodies. It's called oxidative stress. If inflammation is the fire that damages artery walls, oxidative stress is the gasoline that makes the fire burn hotter. Oxidative stress happens when your body produces too many free radicals, unstable, destructive molecules that attack your cells, your DNA, and especially your blood vessels. They scar the endothelium, oxidize LDL cholesterol, stiffen arteries, and make plaque more dangerous. And here's the worst part: you don't feel oxidative stress. You don't see it. You don't know it's happening. but it works quietly, day after day, slowly choking your arteries from the inside. What causes oxidative stress? Pollution, smoking or secondhand smoke, poor sleep, stress, processed foods, sugar spikes, heavy metals in water, even microplastics. You can't avoid every source, but you can fight back with antioxidants powerful enough to counter this internal damage. And that's where the next group of artery saving foods comes in. 1. Foods rich in SOD, superoxide dismutase, the body's master. Antioxidant SOD is one of the most powerful antioxidants our bodies produce. But as we age, SOD levels drop and arteries suffer. Some foods naturally boost SOD: melons, cantaloupe, honeydew. French researchers found that melon extract boosted SOD levels by 15 to 20% in just 4 weeks and reduced protein oxidation, artery damage, by 10 to 15%. Melons help your arteries by reducing oxidative inflammation, preventing LDL from turning into dangerous plaque, improving overall circulation, lowering pressure on the heart. They're not just refreshing, they're cardiovascular medicine masked as fruit. Broccoli and spinach. These greens deliver nutrients that activate your body's antioxidant enzymes. They neutralize the free radicals attacking your arteries and help restore healthy endothelial function. Even a few servings a week can reduce artery stiffness. 2. Polyphenol rich foods, the natural artery bodyguards. Polyphenols are plant chemicals with powerful effects on blood flow and plaque reduction. Dark chocolate, 70% and above. Cocoa is rich in flavonols that relax blood vessels, increase nitric oxide, reduce LDL oxidation, improve circulation to the heart and brain. In controlled studies, dark chocolate improved arterial dilation by 20% within hours. Green tea, packed with catechins that reduce inflammation, protect artery walls, lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol profiles. Green tea drinkers have significantly lower rates of heart disease worldwide. 3. Magnesium rich foods, the mineral that softens arteries. When magnesium is low, arteries stiffen, blood pressure rises, plaque becomes more dangerous. Magnesium relaxes the smooth muscles around your arteries, allowing them to stay open and flexible. Foods rich in magnesium include almonds, avocado, pumpkin, seeds, bananas. These foods help your arteries breathe by keeping them soft and relaxed. 4. Foods that strengthen the heart muscle itself. Artery health is important, but your heart, the engine behind it all, also needs support. CoQ10 rich foods, beef, grass-fed, chicken thighs, oily fish, peanuts, pistachios. CoQ10 feeds the mitochondria inside heart cells. It is literally the fuel source your heart runs on. When CoQ10 levels drop, your heart struggles. When levels rise, your heart pumps stronger and more efficiently. 5. Potassium rich foods, the natural blood pressure regulator. Potassium helps balance sodium levels. Without it, blood pressure rises and arteries weaken. Potassium rich foods include bananas, kiwi, sweet potatoes, avocado, oranges, tomatoes. A diet high in potassium has been linked to a 24-30% lower risk of stroke and heart attack. Every food we've discussed in parts 1 to 4 forms part of a larger picture, a natural system your body uses to heal, restore, and protect your arteries. And now, in part 5, we'll bring everything together. How these foods work as a team, how quickly you can feel a difference, and how your heart can regain the strength and freedom it once had. Now that you've learned what damages your arteries, what repairs them, and which foods activate your body's natural healing systems, it's time to bring it all together. Because the real transformation comes from consistency, not perfection. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You don't need extreme diets, expensive supplements, or complicated routines. Your heart isn't asking for miracles, just support. Every time you choose one of the artery healing foods we've talked about, you're sending your body a very specific message. Repair the lining of my arteries, reduce inflammation, open my blood vessels, strengthen my heart, let my blood flow the way it's meant to. And what's beautiful is that these changes don't happen dramatically or loudly much. They happen quietly, slowly, almost invisibly, until one day you realize you're breathing easier walking up the stairs. Your chest feels lighter. Your hands and feet are warmer because circulation is better. Your energy lasts longer through the day. Your blood pressure readings look better. Your mind feels clearer. Your heart feels younger. These tiny improvements add up, just like the damage once did. Because just as plaque builds up little by little, so does healing. The artery healing blueprint, everything working together. Let's summarize what you've learned in this journey. 1. Foods that increase nitric oxide, beets, leafy greens. These open your arteries, improve blood flow, and lower pressure. 2. Foods that reduce inflammation, berries, tomatoes, extra virgin olive oil. These heal the endothelium and prevent plaque from forming. 3. Omega-3 rich foods that stop plaque from hardening. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, walnuts. Chia seeds. These soothe inflammation and stabilize existing plaque. 4. Foods that soften and reverse plaque. Pomegranate, citrus. These help break down old buildup and keep arteries flexible. 5. Foods that fight oxidative stress. Melons, spinach, broccoli, green tea. These protect arteries from internal damage. 6. Foods that strengthen the heart muscle. CoQ10 rich foods. These give your heart the fuel it needs to pump stronger. 7. Foods that regulate blood pressure naturally. Potassium rich fruits and veggies. These help balance sodium and relax blood vessels. Each category works like a puzzle piece. Alone they're powerful, but together they create a full system of repair that supports your heart every single day. You don't need perfection, you need momentum. If there's one idea to take from this entire series, it's this. Your arteries respond to what you do daily, not occasionally. Maybe today you add a handful of walnuts to your breakfast. Tomorrow you include a cup of green tea or a bowl of berries. The next day you enjoy salmon or sprinkle chia seeds on your yogurt. Another day you snack on cantaloupe or eat a fresh salad rich in leafy greens. The day after that you add pomegranate seeds to your meal. These aren't dramatic changes, but they create dramatic results over time. Just like plaque builds silently, so does healing. What happens when you commit to this? Within a few days, nitric oxide rises, blood vessels relax, blood pressure begins to ease. Within a few weeks, inflammation decreases, cholesterol becomes less harmful, circulation improves. Within a few months, plaques soften, arteries become more flexible, your heart pumps with less effort, stamina grows, energy returns, breathing becomes easier. Within a year, measurable arterial improvement, reduced risk of heart attack or stroke, a heart that feels younger than it has in years. Your body already knows how to repair itself. You're simply giving it the tools. This isn't about living longer. It's about living better. Better energy, better movement, better strength, better peace of mind, better heartbeats. You're not just protecting your life, you're improving the quality of your life. Imagine living with confidence, knowing your heart is strong. Imagine walking without fatigue. Imagine aging without fear. Imagine feeling fully alive again. That is what healthy arteries give you. That is what good circulation makes possible. That is what food-based healing can restore. If this 5-part series helped you understand how to clean your arteries and strengthen your heart, type "My heart is healing" in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, share this with someone you love. It might save their life. Your heart beat faithfully for you every second of your life.